Hey, what's up, everybody? Mogion Monster here, along with Stevie B.
Hello.
Welcome to Why the Fascination, or WTF as we like to call it. Hope everybody's doing wonderful tonight. It's great to see everybody in chat. Already Midwest. How's it going, Garrow? Danny Staten, what's up? Hey, Christy.
I think Harold and Christy were the first through
Christy
the door.
was the first one through the door.
Right on.
And then Harold, what's up? Blinky One, how are you?
Jim. How you doing, Jim?
Jim's camera at dawn. What's happening? Northwoods, how's it going, man?
Greetings. How you doing, Danny?
Who else? Seems like it for now. So I hope you guys had a good weekend. We did. We had a fun weekend.
We did.
Got to meet a bunch of new people, some old friends. Seen for the first time. It was fun.
It was.
We rented a Airbnb.
Beautiful place.
Yeah. And here's the deal. I went to download stuff to my computer off my phone, and it would download to Photos, but Photos doesn't even pop up. Like I click on Photos and just nothing happens. Nothing. So I have a feeling this has to do with like OneDrive and
the cloud,
and it's full.
He keeps getting a message that his storage is full and it wants him to buy more, but it's not allowing him to access his anything that he had in that storage that's full. It's the system's not allowing him to access it.
LIB, what's up, man?
What to do?
Northwood says my ex is nowhere near here, so it's all good.
Yeah.
All good. Gary Lee, how are you? Hey, Chiro, how are you, Jane? So yeah, we got up to Alabama to the, what do you call it? The cabin, the rental, just around, I guess it was 5-ish, thereabouts.
Yeah, it was between 4:30 and 5, I think, by the time we got there. And
I have a video of, I walked around, but like I said, I can't download it. It won't let me download it. So, and then we got settled in there and get ready, and we shot over to the Western Sizzlin'.
Yes.
In Anniston. We were about, I think it was like 16 miles away. Was from the house to everything.
But you're talking 16 miles of farm, open, hills, woods. It's just absolutely gorgeous up there. Anniston and Alexandria. I think Oxford.
That's right there.
That whole area. It's just, it's gorgeous.
So we went to the Sizzlin', and we thought it was going on until about 8:30, but we got there a little after 7 by the time it started at 6:30. So we were there around 7:30.
About 7:30, yeah.
And it was kind of wrapping up. We hung out with Kenny, Flat Rock, Bigfoot.
Flat Rock.
Thank you.
Oh, Flat Rock's amazing.
He bought us dinner. It's weird because it's like, do I want to eat? Actually, the buffet was better because I could choose. There was something I could eat, maybe just vegetables and maybe some meat. But
he's still on his diet. I got to say, I'm proud of him this whole weekend, this whole trip. And you know how it is on a road trip. It's hard. That's when you eat the most junk. He stuck to his guns and stayed on his, I don't want to call it a diet, but his plan, not cutting out the carbs and anything with sugar. He didn't have any of that. He did good. He did as best as he could. In the end,
on the way back,
we stopped at Arby's, and who knew there's nothing, absolutely zero good at Arby's to eat for. We have the
too
meat.
Healthy.
And even the girl, the lady at the register.
Our motto is we have the meat.
We have the meat. I was like, y'all don't have any salads? She's like, she laughed. She was like, we have the meat. I cracked me up, but did no good for him.
But we got in there, and like I said, Kenny bought us dinner, and so thank you for that. Then we started to mingle a little bit. There weren't a lot of people left. Some had already left and gone back to the hotel, and we're getting ready because then after there they went out again. Actually, no, that was the night. That night it was they hung out in the bar at the hotel.
Yes.
So after we ate and everybody left the restaurant, we had to shoot back up to the to the cabin, check on her, let her out, feed, do our thing.
Talking about Maya.
Yeah, I'm pointing at her. Maya's laying on it. I'm
not
looking at her. I'm looking past her.
I looked at you. I was like, yeah, he's not talking about me.
The dog.
Let me out.
And then we drove back down to the hotel and hung out there for a while. It was fun. Tex was so it was Tex, great guy, funny. Bigfoot Michigan Rob, Donnie Cho,
Booze and Blondes and Booze.
Blondes and Booze.
Met Brandy and Krista.
Yeah. And who else? There was
Great people.
Jason. Yeah. Jason was there.
Jason McLean.
Yeah. Another funny
Gary
guy.
Spikes Senior.
Gary Spikes. What can you say about Gary
love
Spikes?
Him. I don't know of anybody that doesn't love Gary. He's just a great guy.
Yeah. Yeah, he is.
Met a lot of people from chat.
And it's funny, guys, if we met and, somebody introduces himself and they say their name. Okay.
I'm Stevie B.
Well, but
as you know,
when they say their real name, you're like, oh, nice to meet you. And he's like, oh, War Criminal 777 or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, what's up, dude? Then, I know I see their chat name. Tell me your chat name. And then I
then
go,
you know who
okay.
they are.
There was a lot of, new people. It was like for me, to meet. It was, and you,
Yeah.
We met a lot of people like at other conference, the Florida one. And so we just had a good time. It was great to hang out with these people and, hey, you got to come on our show, and yeah, you guys can come hang out on ours too, whatever. And
It was just fun to meet everybody, and everybody's such great people. It's so warm and welcoming, I mean, just
it's that Southern thing,
yeah, it's
100%
100% comfortable, and it's so great to when you do hear people screen names. It's like, oh,
and this is funny. Now I'm there, we're there. Of course, I was wearing a bandana, and people just didn't approach. I walked to Tex and those guys, and hey, what's up, man? How you doing? But like other people were like, they didn't know if are you and Stevie B. As soon as like I have to like convince them who I am, and or just and then she goes, oh, I'm Stevie B, and everybody's like, oh, Stevie B. It was funny. I thought it was great.
It was funny. It was very cool.
So we had a wonderful time. Played some pool, with Tex and Greg Ogles. He played me a game. What else did we do?
Oh, we hung out. What was that? Saturday night? Yeah, Saturday night. There was a little bar downtown, pool tables, darts.
They had eaten already. We
we went back to the house
because we had to keep running back and forth. We did a lot of driving.
We went back to the house and he made some dinner or we kind of both we went to the grocery store, picked up some things, had dinner, and then met everybody over at the bar, and they were already there for a bit, it seemed.
Yeah, they had already eaten dinner. Yeah. And it was be kind. You'll see sometimes in chat. They were there. She was there.
There's so many people.
Yeah, I'm like,
Crystal J.
You remember this?
Yeah.
And
it's funny because I don't remember names hardly ever.
It was a good time. So,
and we have so many pictures, and I took some videos, and again, true to form,
couldn't download them.
LIB said he had the same problem. He can show you what to do. I saw that.
Um, just reading chat. Hold on. So, what else was I gonna say?
Gary Lee, is it Lee?
So-
Lowe. Gary Lowe. Good to see you.
A couple weeks ago, I was on in Texas chat, and they had a contest, and I won a walking stick. It's in the truck. I didn't bring it in. This stick, Gary Senior made, and thank you so much. You did a wonderful job. It looks awesome.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It's as tall as I am.
It is.
I was like, I grabbed it, and I'm like, wow. I feel like I should be parting the
Parting the
Red Sea.
Oh, it's absolutely gorgeous, though.
Yeah.
It was funny because when he first walked up to Moog's at the restaurant at the Sizzlin, he held his hand up, and I knew what he was doing because he had already showed me a picture of his walking stick and said, "Don't say anything." He wanted it to be a surprise, but he was checking the size of his hand to see compared to his to see if it was a good fit. And Moog's looking at him like wanting to high five him.
Figgy, I didn't know what the hell he was doing.
And it was funny. I was cracking
Figgy, how are you? Good to see you.
up. Yeah, Mr. Lee said wizard staff. Okay, speaking of fishing, outside the Airbnb, there was a beautiful pond. I mean, you could tell that to the left, staring out on the back porch to the left
Wait a
there.
minute, who was speaking of fishing?
Well, somebody in chat said something about fishing.
Really?
Yeah,
I see Figgy.
I think LIB
Oh.
said something. Yeah,
That was
CRJ,
like
it was a
random.
little fishing and some waterfalls, nothing much. That's what got me thinking. So speaking of
okay,
fishing,
okay.
catch up. Anyways, the pond in front of it's technically the back of the cabin faced this pond, and there's a nice deck, a nice porch that runs the length of the house. So that body of water, you have to walk down a little ways to get to the gate to get down to the water, but he goes down and casts a few lines, and we brought our poles and a little bit of gear, not a whole lot, but he goes down and bam, he catches a bass. Good size. So I'm like, oh, I got to get down there. I grab my pole, I get down there, and I'm casting. I get stuck a couple times, and I'm trying to get a feel for the weeds. There's a lot of grass. I mean, there's probably how many feet of
Then I
grass?
caught another one.
Then he catches
Little
another
bigger.
one, a little bigger, and he makes me stand in this. Well, not makes me, but he tells me, come stand right here. You got to stand right here.
Stand here.
So I stood there and cast a couple times. I couldn't tell if my line was getting stuck in the grass or if something was actually hitting it. I just couldn't tell. So second time, same thing. And I was like, third time, bam, I felt something hit it. And I was like, oh. I'm reeling, and then I get it to the grass, and the grass is probably a good at least 6 feet.
Yeah, because the shoreline was really muddy, so
Mucky.
and there was a lot of grass, maybe 10 feet of grass from where we're standing. And as she's reeling, it gets to the grass, and she can't pull it over the grass. So I grabbed the pole and walked out, and I saw it, and I was like, oh.
He saw the mouth.
Yeah, it was a bucket mouth. I mean, it was weird. It was a big fish, but it was light.
It was very light when I grabbed it to take the hook out.
So I grabbed the pole and got it and tried to
in the process lost
try not to lose my shoes.
He stepped out of his shoe and then
because it was that
it.
muck that just it
I
makes
would
a
have
little
never got in
suction
it
and
to get the
wants
fish.
to keep your foot.
If he wasn't there, I would have lost it because I couldn't get down.
Mr. Lee, it is
Alabama Bigfoot Conference. These are the T-shirts. Yeah, there you go. Nice shirts.
Yeah.
Cozy too.
Lance. How are you? Great to see you. Mike said he was fishing, but yeah. So this thing was probably close to 3 pounds, but it was a big fish, and she was like, "Oh my god!" And that was the only. Yeah, there you go. Let's
Let me see if I
turn.
See if you can see that. Let me bring it in a
There
little
you
bit.
go,
There
right
it is.
there.
Look at that. Yeah, that was fun. That was a lot of fun.
I didn't take pictures of my fish.
So after the conference, we were humbly invited to stay at Flat Rock Boogers. He lives about 3.5 hours south of where the conference was. We had to go that way. So
We didn't have to,
we
but
didn't have
as long
to.
as it was heading south,
But we were
I was
going
happy
south.
with it.
So the invite, we were like, hell yeah. I don't know if anybody.
I wanted to go there for probably 2 years.
Those of you that aren't aware, he has a tremendous amount of reported
Activity.
Bigfoot activity
on his
on his property. He's got hours and hours and hours of
Audio.
audio mostly, and some video and
video,
pictures of activity around his property. And anybody that isn't aware, again, or those that have been there, know they're woods. I mean, it's nothing but. And it's the perfect property for everything that you hear of Sasquatch would be a perfect environment for them. It's surrounded by
water,
3 bodies of water. There's
food source.
There's washouts. There's food source. It's just
waters. It's
yeah, it's squatchy
and
as
habitat.
fuck.
It's just
So
it's so thick.
So we went to stay with Flat Rock, and again, Flat Rock, if you're watching, thank you so much. I love
Absolutely,
this guy,
brother. It was awesome.
Him and Dot, perfect people, just kind-hearted, love them to death. We we drove. It was a lot of driving, like you said, for the weekend, and we drove the 3.5 hours, and we got there kind of. I don't even know what time it was. We got to his property, his house. I know, right? I think because we were tired, and when we got there, it was still daylight. I know
He wasn't. We had to wait for him.
That's right.
He wasn't there. He had to run out, and then he came back. What's up, Mike?
Hey, Mike.
So
Nice haircut.
he finally came back, and he's like, you guys could have went in, and we're sitting in the truck, air conditioned blasting. It was hot and humid.
I had to pee.
Oh yeah, that was the other thing. She had to pee.
Oh my God.
I'm like, go over in the woods. And,
I'm thinking, no, there's probably cameras somewhere. Well, because he has trail cameras, or there's so much activity, and he's taken so much, audio and video of the activities out there. I'm thinking, I don't know where to go where there won't be a camera, so I'm not going to pee. I'm just sitting there. Wait for him to get home just to find out when he gets there. The door was open. Y'all could have went in.
Yeah, she wasn't smiling when she was sitting there, though.
No, I was not.
Trail camera footage of the bionic woman
Squatting, marking her territory.
Right, I am here. No, it was. We stayed inside. It was so hot. For the next a couple hours. Well, we ended up going out and grabbing something to eat and coming back.
Yeah,
and
that was like we got. I'd say we left around 7:30 to get something to eat.
We got back right when it was starting to get dark.
Yeah, we came back, ate real quick, and then he took us out. He took us out. I've been running around
we walked
in Crocs all weekend, so I switched to some real shoes.
I think I drowned myself in bug dope.
That and bug dope, and we went out and
took a walk.
He took us through the areas where other people had seen things, had experiences, and
including itself.
Yeah, it was really cool. But we all had headlight lamps. I had a headlamp, a flashlight, and a spotlight. I didn't bring my phone.
I forgot my phone, so I didn't have a phone at all. I forgot mine.
Kenny didn't have his phone.
We left all technology behind,
except for the lights.
He did have a thermal, and that was to help us see.
He had a thermal, and
because let me tell you, we got to the first stop, which is a tree stand, where there's been activity. There's sightings. sightings, and there's been so much activity at this tree stand. We get there and we turn off all lights, and I tell you what, I literally couldn't see my hand in front of my face. Moke's standing probably 3 feet from me, and I can't see him. The only reason I can see Kenny to the right of me, or Flat Rock to the right of me, is he's got the thermal, so you can see the light glowing from the inside of the thermal. I mean, other than that, you couldn't see shit. We're standing there and just not saying a word, listening, kind of. I'm in my own head. It's like a meditation almost. And we hear this Flat Rock, and I'm coming from Flat Rock side. This thing comes in front of me that I think it was a big giant moth. All I know is it was like
You're a hum.
It was like right in front of me, and then backed out, and then was gone. And I was like, "Oh shit!" When you're standing there in the black, in the pitch black, you can't see anything. It was the most weird sound, but you could tell it was.
Christy, the reason I didn't bring my camera is because I don't want to take pictures out there. I don't want to bring technology out there. I want to go out there with, good intention. And if they're that intelligent, I don't want to, you want to build the trust, I guess. And if they don't see any technology,
any type of.
I want an experience. I don't need proof. I just want my own experience.
Right.
I'm not there to prove it to anybody else, so I'm not going to take a camera. And so we were out there.
I just forgot mine.
It was dark. You couldn't see anything.
I haven't experienced this kind of darkness.
I had a walking stick, and I had my hands on top of the walking stick like this, and I couldn't see my hands.
There was a bucket out there, and everybody, I'm pretty sure everybody knows I'm on prosthetics, and I did pretty good. But when I'm walking, I'm okay. If I stand still for more than 5 minutes after walking distance, it's just aching. It's just really, really aches to where I have to sit down, even if it's just for a minute, just to get that relief, take that pressure off of my legs. I got to sit down. There was a bucket out there, so the guys helped me down to the bucket. I'm sitting there, and again, no lights. I think Kenny had turned the thermal, so it was like pitch black. I'm sitting there on the bucket down at that lower level, and I'm looking up, and you can see just the height of the treetops. It's amazing how you can see the light coming in, but it doesn't affect you.
No,
right there.
It doesn't hit the ground.
No, right there. I haven't experienced that kind of darkness in a long time.
What the thermal does is takes so the moon emanates this light, right? And it's not bright enough to reach the ground, but it's enough. It only needs the thermal only needs 1 lumen to take to soak.
Oh yeah,
and then,
the ambient light.
Put it back out, right? And then so you can light your light. If you're in pitch black, they don't work. But if you light a lighter, then it works perfect. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, or use a red light. Red.
Yeah.
No, it worked.
Got me IR light.
It was working perfect.
Your Mo got me an infrared light actually, so it's coolish. Yeah, it's this flashlight, and you could shine it at your hand and you can't see it. Shine it at the wall, nothing. You shine it around. As soon as you go through the night vision, and then you look at it, it's beaming out, and you can see it through the night vision, and it's doing business. It's lighting up the whole forest. It's so crazy.
Christy, hello, darkness, my old friend. I saw a shirt at the conference. Oh, my camera went blurry. I saw a shirt at the conference. There was stands and vendors, not vendors, well, just people in stands. Well, there was one shirt for sale. Oh no, the lady was wearing it. It said "Hello, darkness, my old friend," and it had a Sasquatch on it and some other stuff. But yeah, I just thought it was funny that I looked down, I read it. That Christy just wrote that. I remember seeing the lady's shirt and I was like, "Oh, I like that."
And it's funny, we met people, but they we didn't know we know them from chat, but I didn't find out, like you said, the women that were sitting at the table and taking, they were selling these shirts. And who was it?
You're asking me names now. I forget.
See, I didn't get introduced to them really, but yeah, and somebody mentioned their name. I was like, oh yeah, same in chat. You know,
Yeah.
So-
yeah, I'm terrible with names. I can't remember.
in the same way. But it was wonderful to meet all those people. Want to do it again, you know.
So we walked for a couple of hours. I mean, we were out there, right?
Oh, with
Yeah.
Penny? Yeah. We were
Yeah.
standing in the one spot, and I think it was at the first spot. I'm not sure. We heard
stood-
some sort of huff.
No. It was walking from that to the washout. We had gotten through. There's a tall grass area that I think some other guys that had camped out at some point, and it was past that tall grass area. We were stopping periodically so Flat Rock could look through the thermal and see if he saw anything at all. And it was you two in front of me. I was standing kind of back. I just stopped to kind of get out of the way, and so your back was to me. Those guys heard something. They heard.
I don't know if that's where it was. It wasn't at the washout.
No, it wasn't. It was between the tall grass and the washout, somewhere along that way. Because we had gotten.
And it was
to-
just, it was like.
They
I don't
said
know,
they
it was
heard a
distant,
huff.
and it was just like, okay, that was about it. That's all we heard. I mean, the cicadas
hear
were so
anything.
loud.
And I think that was the thing
It
too.
just. I would have
Drowned out.
got scared if the cicada suddenly stopped,
That's what I had said.
because then it would have been nothing.
It was, yeah,
And that's kind of what I wanted, because I wanted to be able to hear.
yes.
The whole time I stood there, you know, every time we stopped and we stood there, I stood with my eyes closed and just listened.
The
There's no use
cicadas-
having them open. You couldn't see
The
anything.
cicadas were so loud. That's all you heard. If anything were to walk up on us, we didn't. I mean,
Jane, how
we'd
are you?
never
Good
know.
to see you.
We'd have no chance of knowing if something walked up on us because the cicadas were so loud. And we were sitting on the porch back at the Airbnb one night, and the first night I think, and the cicadas sounded different there. It sounded almost electric, like
Yeah,
a mechanical.
It was
kind
weird.
of. It was a lower frequency almost. It was a lower volume.
It sounded like it was electrical.
Yes,
It
it
was
did.
just bizarre.
And they did stop for a second, like dead stopped. The first night we were on there, we just kind of looked at each other like, "Ooh, that was weird."
That's the thing. You start to notice all these different things when you're out there like that, especially
Oh yeah, but
This was
especially
back
when
at
it's pitch black. Like your senses just start to notice all these other things. You know what I mean? And like,
it was hard to concentrate because of the constant cicada noise.
yes.
It was hard to like listen and you know.
There was
Hear
nothing
beyond
else.
that,
There
'cause
was
it
nothing
was-
else to listen to. It drowned out everything.
I mean, you
it's-
would hear something if something walked by. You would hear.
Well, we could
you know,
like
but
we could hear a dog barking off in the distance.
Yeah.
You know, we could hear dog, and it was back in the direction of the house. So, but anything outside of that subtle, we didn't ever heard anything. I didn't hear anything. All I heard was cicadas.
we heard that one noise, and we were just, I don't know what that is, and that was it.
Yeah, that was it. Didn't see anything.
But we hiked around, a lot more, and then it was so hot.
But you can absolutely 100% know that that's the perfect environment that they're out there.
Oh yeah,
you know?
it's so like he's in. That would be my definition of East Bumfuck. Middle of nowhere.
Middle of nowhere.
And there's nothing around. There's as far as
Okay, so the coolest thing I thought was when we first got there, we're not there for long at all. Flat Rock's brother, Bobby, comes in, and he comes in and tells us that they're explaining the history of their experience of what's been going on out there. And I can't do any justice telling the story, but
well,
they-
I want to get permission before we do.
right. But they've had so much activity, and it's not just Flat Rock, it's the whole family. His mother, his brother.
And Kenny, happy birthday to your mother. She is 81 years old today.
Oh, that's right. Happy birthday.
So happy birthday.
That's cool.
happy
But
birthday.
yeah, they to hear his brother and see the two of them conversating about it, it just
They conversated. Well, they couldn't
like-
agree on anything.
well, typical
By a
brothers.
day, or it was they looked like a married couple.
Yeah. Typical
No, it
brothers.
was. No, it wasn't that. It was it. But it was fun. Yeah, I just was like, no shit.
So he said we should be recording this.
No, see, now that's the deal. Is when I approach this. I'm still new to this. I've never had an experience as far as this goes. And you hear stories online, and you know, you take them for what they're worth. But when you're talking with someone face to face, and they're telling you their experiences,
and you're there,
and you're in their house, and you're where these experiences have happened,
you're there.
It
just
for
solidifies.
For me, it changed the way I looked at things. Because being such a skeptic.
Well, like I'll hear
with an open mind.
People will come to me and tell me like, "Oh, I don't believe that person because they touched their nose, or FBI says that if people look left a lot, that they're a lie or whatever." And I'll be like, you don't know what was going on while they were on that podcast or whatever. Like, their infant could have been sleeping like off to the left, you know what I mean? And like, that's why they kept looking, you know what I mean? Now we're like, there's so many different things, but I know exactly what you mean. I totally couldn't agree more. Like when you sit down with somebody face to face, or you're in their home or in their environment where it happened, it's like so much different.
Well, it makes you appreciate it and be less of a skeptic, and when you hear how it affected everybody and is still affecting them, and it makes it so much real, because it's from this side of the camera, when you're behind a camera and you're listening or you're talking about it, to me, it's still like it's being skeptic. I'm always skeptical.
It's listening to a story, but when you're in front of the people that
are telling it, and it's just like, it's not an intervy. This is just
hearing the
conversation,
it's here actually.
Well, people like Flat Rock, like they dedicated like a lot to, you know what I mean? Like you don't just do that. Like you don't just dedicate like all that work for like, for
shits and giggles.
Yeah, or because you think you saw something. You know what I mean? Like you're invested because you're invested. Like you're in it because you're in it, and that's the facts of it. You know what I mean?
Let's put it this way:
Livewire or whatever, like they moved, right?
Same situation.
Yeah.
Hearing his story and talking to him, it was the same thing. It's like, damn, these.
See, the thing is, it affects these people's lives, like Flat Rock and Mark,
every day.
It's their actual life. It's not just an experience that they had.
It's a part of their life.
It's an everyday, every moment of their life. It has to be considered. It's there, some form of it, whether it's, protecting your property or setting up audio and camera just to make sure that their loved ones are secure.
Right.
Putting fences around your home just so the damn things won't tap on the damn windows.
Right. They don't sound like relationships to me. They sound like shared home. Like, that's what it sounds like.
Shared space.
Yeah, shared space. Like I tell people this all the time. Sasquatch don't believe in our fences and our boundaries. You know what I mean? Our state lands and our no trespassing signs. That means zero.
Nothing.
So, you know what I mean?
Their family members are on the same property, and they keep in constant communication with with all of this. Everyone's aware. Everybody's alert. It's an alertness that is constant.
Yeah, I mean, we're their fish tank. Like, you know how, like I tell people all the time, especially when you're camping, and I tell people all the time, if you're gonna camp with me, you need to understand that we're Sasquatch fish tank. You know how you turn off the lights in your house, but the fish tank lights on, and you walk by and tap the glass? That's maybe what's gonna happen tonight. Like, they might be curious and be like, "Oh, let's feed the fish, or let's
tap the glass."
Yeah,
whatever.
Absolutely. I mean, I went out to the truck for something. The guys were inside the house, and I'm out there by myself, and I just look around, and I'm like, what's watching? I mean, you can't help but think that. And it's not about having Bigfoot on the brain. It's because you've just heard those people that experience it all the time or have, where it affected their lives so severely that
That
you're in
you
that
can't
place.
doubt it.
You're in that place of where it happened. You can't help but stand there,
Yeah.
outside by yourself, and
It's
just wonder.
easier. It's easier when you have a mentality like Moses you were describing earlier. I've gotten to that point like where I just don't give a shit if you if you believe me or not or whatever. I'm not
No,
here.
that's my
Like,
experience.
and right and like and that's it's a good place to be, and it really is, because the other people that lie over here that are just like so desperate for people to hear them and like be like, listen, like please, like understand this really happened, blah blah blah. That's a hard place to be in, because
Sure.
it's a vulnerable place, and you're in a tiny, tiny, tiny pool of people, and it's target mode, and there's people all day that love throwing darts at that thing,
I just wish everybody that's ever had an experience knew that there are places where they can talk about it besides their therapist.
Yeah.
When I first experienced what I experienced, I had no idea where to go, none, and that's when I met Gary Hoot and Holler and Kenny W. Irish and them.
Yeah.
And they were the only ones that kind of like, I really thought I was literally on an island by myself. Like, I didn't know where to turn because there was nobody local that I knew of at the time. As time has progressed, so many locals have come to. I mean, like I've become the hub where people go to, and in my area. But at that time, I was like ready to give up. You know what I mean? The closest people I could find were like in New Jersey and Massachusetts, whatever. Like,
Sure.
and anyway, I did end up finding what I thought was like, community or whatever, but it was just like an isolated group, right? It was such a large group that I thought that was where it was. Like, I thought that's where everybody was, and I was like, this isn't right. Like this just isn't right. So anyway, I kind of got off track there, but it's I do too. I do too. I wish people knew there was a place to go. I do.
I'm just reading chat.
Chatty.
When something smacks the wall in the middle of the night and wakes you up, it changes things. Well, they attributed it to people, kids. That's the only thing that makes sense to them.
Yeah.
Until eventually things started happening.
In their minds, and in my mind, when I was hearing this from them, it kind of makes you think, how the hell could it be kids?
Yeah, I said that. I was like, dude, they would be some dedicated kids.
They would
out
have
here.
to be. Yeah, I mean.
And kids aren't their attention span isn't
even
that.
That's what I say too. Like when people say, "Oh, that was just a guy out there in a suit or whatever," like there's places where these encounters happen, and like it's like they're walking in front of hunters, like you know what I mean, with high-powered rifles. Like that's not a prank that somebody plays. No. They don't go out, find out where you're gonna be, and go and duck out in the woods for 7 hours and wait you out, and then
randomly day or night,
and then pop up and walk past you and your scope, and like you know what I mean. Like,
but you think about the times, and it's day or night. In no particular time. It's just it happened so often that I could not ever see it be a human. No. But then when they see it,
then that's it. When
they see.
They finally realize what's going on. It changes the game, and it changes things in the family. I can't talk. I don't want to get too personal. So but yeah, now I have a better appreciation for this subject.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. After being there and being in the middle of the forest in the middle of the night, and
it's not even that. It's being with Kenny and his brother.
Yes,
and just hearing this stuff and seeing their faces as they talk about it.
That's why I want to travel so bad, bro. Like you just did it. Like you just did it again. Like you went.
Donald, take care, man.
you know, you went and put yourself in like a weird spot and like tried that, like a weird like location, whatever. You never know what's gonna happen there either, right? Like, and then like you go and visit with different people, you go to different places and things, and like that's my thing. Like, I've had so much of my own here. Like, as much as I want people to come here, like, oh, like, yeah, I welcome people all the time and take them out and go out, but I want to expand and go to other places too, and like see what it's like in Colorado and Montana and Florida.
Absolutely.
And whatever. And you know, you guys
Absolutely.
have extended your invitation, and I'm gonna take you up on it very, very soon. It's just shit rolls downhill and I'm covered in it. And you know,
It's all
whatever.
good, man. The door's open. You know that.
I know, I know, and it's gonna happen soon enough. But
Right on.
It was humbling, and Flat Rock and his family are just amazing people. They are,
Yeah.
truly.
I like when he came on the show one night and he was showing us all the stuff, like updates and stuff. I wish the signal was a little better, but I think he was showing us like a handprint on the
Yes, on the rail outside the house.
And it's funny, and the guy came to retrieve the print for testing, and he literally just cut the rail on each side and pulled the whole rail out. It was like,
Yeah.
I think you could have just, you know, yeah.
Yeah, there's
So the
one
top
little
rail, it's
section.
like missing the
It's
section,
missing a
like
section.
4 foot long.
They didn't want to compromise the handprint.
No,
so I
and
get
that was
that.
yeah.
But that was
Um,
awesome.
What else? I was just in awe about how vast that area was in. You know, like this. It's to be in the middle of nowhere and know it is strange. You know, for me. I mean, I've been in some remote places, but
When we get lost coming back from the grocery store and there is such thing as GPS, then you know. Because when we were leaving to go to get something to eat, his brother and Flat Rock were trying to explain to us, go out the gate, turn right, take them down the dirt road. No, don't take them down the first one, take them down the second one.
and then it's like, no dirt roads. We'll just go all the way around.
And all 3 roads are the same. Well, 2 of them are the same number. So it was, yeah.
We got turned around a
It
little
was
bit.
so in the middle of nowhere. I love it. I absolutely love it. But that being said, we get to the area where there's a grocery store, Piggly Wiggly. I went into it one for the first time. I got to go in one. But no, right there at the shopping center, it's like the main strip. There is this huge picture of Sasquatch.
It's not a picture, it's a statue.
So I was looking for my picture. That's why I said picture. But it's a statue of Sasquatch. And, you know, it's... Do you have the picture? You gonna bring it up?
I don't know. I got to see. I don't know if I have it.
I think I have it in my phone here. But anyways, we take a couple pictures. We go into the grocery store and bought a few things. We were at the register, and he had to ask. He's like,
I know what you're talking about. Hang on, I have that picture.
He's like, I have to ask. He's, you know, what's with the giant Bigfoot statue outside? And the cashier looks to the other girl and says, "You want to tell it, or I'll tell it?" She was like, "You can tell it this time." So apparently her version of it was there were some guys that were drunk leaving a bar, went out those same back roads, and that's what ran across the street
And
in
it
front of
was
them.
it was like the local dentist
Yes.
and
This one?
Yeah, look.
Yeah.
That gives you the size comparison there.
And that reminds me of something Tex said. He's like, we're talking, and he goes, "You know, I got to tell you something, man." He goes, "The camera, when I see you on camera," he goes, "I thought you were scrawny. I thought you were scrawny."
He's like, "You're a big boy." I died.
I was like, scrawny. I goofed on it for the next 30 minutes, like scrawny.
Oh,
It was
I died.
great.
But yeah, to hear the story of the reason why that's there,
It was from experience. Somebody had an
Yeah.
experience.
that thing ran out in front of their vehicle on one
So-
of those back roads.
So they said that now the town's Bigfoot USA or Bigfoot capital or
yeah,
whatever.
it was
like
all
the-
over their local
maybe of
news.
the county.
It was all
this-
over the news for years before they built that statue, but that's the reason they built the statue, because it became a local legend. That's what exists.
Hey Rex, good to see you. Fly by Stu, what's up? There's he showed the picture. That's right. It was just cool to see this. Like, check it out. You know? This legend
in
is
the
sitting,
middle of small town.
and I was just like,
America.
how apropos, you know, because I'm sure the city council doesn't know what's going on, and or whoever decided to put up Bigfoot is going on in Kenny's backyard.
No.
Although somebody knows. I'm not going to get into that story. I don't know if I've heard it online,
Yeah, I don't know.
so I can't.
This one was pretty cool. This is in Whitehall.
Oh, very cool.
Oh,
Yeah. You guys see the sun? It's pretty big though. It's a big one.
that is very cool.
Wow.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like the Beast of Whitehall.
So how tall is the statue? I know you're short. So what is the statue, about 6 foot?
Yeah, give or take. Yeah. No, I think it's like 8 foot, maybe. And then it's standing on a stump. So. Fucker.
I deserve those. Trust me.
Well earned.
Put another mark on the wall. Fly by Stu. Hey, Mogs and Steve, you met the man, Kerry Arnold. Was he genuine?
Depends on. I mean, what? I'm not sure what that means as far as.
Genuine. I don't know.
Well, to be fair,
No, I'm just saying because he was there. He had a purpose while he was there. So it wasn't like we sat and chatted
We
and
didn't. Yeah, it wasn't a
we hardly
social-
talked. We were there with him every day, and at
It was
some
like-
point we saw him, but we didn't
Yeah,
He didn't hang out with us.
Mm-mm.
There are 2 camps.
he was a man on a mission during those
And
periods.
Yes, there you go. That's a good way.
Yeah,
to put it.
he had-
was even there to work.
He was very stressed during that period of time. Let's
He
put it
was
that
there
way.
to
And
work.
he had to oversee a lot. Like, at least in his mind, he was.
I don't think, honestly, I could answer that question. Not saying
I
it
wasn't there. I'm just saying.
Not saying it in a negative way at all. It's just that I didn't have enough interaction time with him.
it wasn't the same Carrie that I had met like years before, as far as, and we didn't meet in person, but when the first time I was on air on YouTube was on Carrie's show, and just as a whim.
He was in go mode.
And once I started my channel, he would, he'd come on, he'd hang out. That was the more genuine Carrie
Yes.
that I saw.
Yes.
Okay. Later on, to see him in that go mode or whatever, it was like I almost got to a fight with the guy
When they first met.
when I first met him.
First 2 seconds of interaction.
He didn't expect somebody to hop out of the truck and be the same size as him. He was like, "What?" But it was diffused so quick because of the dogs. Anyway,
Yes, the interactions I had outside of the 168 were genuine.
yeah, it was just a
Absolutely.
different situation.
Absolutely.
And it seemed after the 168,
And I'm not saying
we
that interactions then weren't.
we had a
just didn't-
falling. I don't
we
know if
just
it's called
didn't have
falling out. We just, we didn't talk
Didn't-
too much after that.
Yeah.
Once in a while.
I didn't. He, like you said, he was working with the other group, and I didn't have any. Couldn't say.
Not bad mouthing him.
No, not at all.
No, me and Carrie didn't see eye to eye on a lot. You know what I mean? And like, but we had a respect for each other, and we would speak to each other a lot about like just shit in general. Like just things in general.
Fly by Stu says, "Do you think he saw something and stopped hunting on that based on that experience?" Yes, he stopped hunting. He didn't go
Oh,
back
I
in the
know
woods
he
for
did.
11 years.
Yeah.
It messed him up, and it was Linda that talked him
That
into
got him,
starting
yeah.
this Bigfoot Odyssey as therapy.
Yeah, and I
An
don't think
outlet.
people realize that it was Linda that
It was her
his-
channel.
It was
She
her creation and her support for him that got him back out there,
I think,
and that's amazing.
we were the second 168.
Technically.
I mean, because
The
they
first
went
one-
out and did it, and we went to these different areas to try to camp and stuff, but it was just COVID had just hit and places were closed down, so they couldn't
They couldn't get there.
They couldn't do it.
They couldn't get there.
So they disbanded, and I think they camped somewhere. And
Well-
they went to the property where Kerry had his experience.
I thought they all went back to his place.
I don't know after that.
Yeah.
I don't.
A lot of them
I
went
can't
back to
talk
his place,
on
but
that.
it was the COVID shutdown, so it shut down the 168 originally.
But
Yeah. So technically, we were the second go around. The second attempt, and the only one that ended up happening.
I was living up here that year, and nothing really changed for me. But
see, I believe the 168. Everything the whole
Excuse me.
idea of it is a good idea. Executing it proved to be
Difficult.
yeah.
Very
Once
difficult.
there was a schedule and how people are going to go out at certain times, but the first people out, something went wrong. They were back early, and it just threw everything off.
right.
And so the whole week was it was more of not a free for all. We went out and we filmed and we brought back and we downloaded all the pictures for them, and they downloaded, but we made sure that we did their process of how they wanted it.
Well,
I
if you have
think that
expectations,
the whole thing, once it went to south that way, it kind of carried that. I think that bothered him a lot.
he had expectations and wanted things to an itinerary almost. He wanted things to happen, and
Yeah,
it doesn't work like that in nature.
there were incidents, there was drama, there was whatever
Oh, okay.
during the 168,
Okay.
and so people looked at each other differently after that.
Okay.
I was just reading chat. I just don't. I think that Kerry, it was overwhelming because they had so much footage.
Oh,
There was
yeah.
no way. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
and that's why they were going to
He
do
would
it
send
in
me-
parts.
He would send me a minute or two at a time, or have 5 minutes done, and people were constantly up his ass. I would see it everybody that would publicly comment or be in chat would always be like, "Where's 160? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it?" And I think a lot of that was to do with that people donated. A lot of people donated,
Yeah,
and they
and
wanted to see results, and that's
but the end result was rather disappointing.
I
I
don't even remember.
it was I think because Kerry's attitude towards it changed,
I don't even remember it.
and he wasn't what he put out was at one point it looks like it was good, and he was doing it, and then he got to a point where he just said fuck it and wasted however long with Cam Buckner and Nance Warren. Love those guys, nothing against them, but it was a lot of fill of shit that didn't pertain to the 168.
Right.
It was Florida history here, and it's wait a minute. He gave up then, I think, on that because
he's If you're
I'm
one
not
man
him.
going,
I'm just saying I wish it was a little had it was a great idea, but
Yeah.
I think it wasn't what he wanted it to be. Obviously,
Yeah. That's why,
it's
you know, these
guy.
new,
I miss him, and
yeah.
he's
I think he would take well to the new style of things being done. The just meet and greet, hang out, camp out things. You know what I mean? Like, I think if he was around to organize one of those, it would be as big as it could be. You know what I mean? Like a Bigfoot Odyssey meet and greet here. And I think that it would be massive and it would be great and it would be amazing. And I think he was trying to find his way into something like that. You know what I mean? And he wanted a documentary, and it's hard. Like, I was with him along the way, like while he was doing processing it, you know what I mean? And he was sending it to me saying, like, hey, as somebody who's out there every day, like, does this look like this, or just ask, because he knew I would give it to him raw. I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't. Everybody who knows me knows me. I'm just me all day, every day. I can't do any better. And he valued that in me. So he would send things to me and say, hey, just seriously, what do you think of this? And I would tell him, like, take out that fluff, you don't need that fluff shit, or like
Sure.
this or that, and whatever. But that's just how it was. We had regular conversation. I wish I met the guy.
Yeah, there wasn't. I mean, it got to a point where you knew there wasn't going to be part 2 of that.
Yeah, another one. Yeah,
he was just scrapping that project. You weren't going to get it. You got what you got, and that was it. And then he was going to probably start over when they did the next 168.
Well, I think a lot of the footage
was too much footage.
There was footage lost supposedly at one point, and I don't know what to say to that. I don't know what to say to that, but it just I when I heard that, I said, okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Nobody knows, right?
But it was a great experience, dude. It was a wonderful experience.
Yeah, everybody.
First time I met Stevie.
Right. So many good things came from it. Yeah.
Oh, I met.
He was Bigfoot Odyssey.
That experience, that week we were there, I've made lifelong family.
He wasn't a podcast. He was someone who went around and checked out people's odysseys. That was what his thing was.
And that's what I think he should have stayed with.
Well, no, you know what I mean. Like, I mean, I think he did a lot of good, while he had.
Oh, yeah.
The other time, that guy worked his balls off, and he still made time. Like, he would talk to people on the phone the whole drive home. Like, he was like, I mean, he was a dedicated mofo. I'll give him that.
We talked many times, and
yeah.
It was I was shocked when it all went down. I'm sure everybody was.
There was many times that I've talked to him outside of that project and his show, and we like, you hear so many people say excuse me, that he was always open to conversation to anybody anytime.
I took that part from him. Like,
I
talked
to him 3 days before the accident. We were texting back and forth.
We talked about it all the time. Like, how there's some times where you're just wasting hours, maybe days, maybe years on people, but that shouldn't change the way we are to other people, or the last person or the next person, just because, one goose ruined the gander, or however you want to put it. Right. Like,
I don't understand how he had the time to stay in contact with just everyone.
Jane, when I said all the stuff that went down, I meant his passing. I don't know why.
Unfortunately, he's not with us yet.
Yeah.
He always had time to talk to people. I mean,
always, yeah.
He put, I think I just mentioned was on his Facebook, on his channel, he put his phone number in there for people to, hey, call me.
Yeah.
Or when it was on his, I don't know, it was on his page or somewhere.
It was his phone.
Yeah. But he put it.
It was public, definitely, and would talk to anybody that called.
It was a hub for like everyone to go. Like, I remember, like, everybody used to go there. Like everybody used to go there, you know. Even the people that didn't like him would be there, you know. They would just be there, like just like just because everybody was there.
Robert Den Dubin says the footage I heard about from the 168 that has not seen the light of day is supposedly captured film of a Bigfoot spider crawling behind a group down a trail.
It's odd you say spider crawl. I just had a guy put me in a chapter of his book. He was doing a Bigfoot spider crawling stories, like of how they move like that. And I mean, we went back and forth probably for the past year, you know, about this encounter I saw. I still don't know what I saw, but he was okay with that. I can't confirm. I can confirm that it wasn't something native to Korea, but I can't confirm what it was.
Mr. Lee says, Robert Den Dubin, are you referring to Blake from the Lost Cryptids conservatory footage?
That was part of.
I saw the footage, but I didn't see what they were.
I thought that was talked about in the 168 actual presentation. That was.
I think so.
Yeah,
it was.
It was.
There was it was just cool. That was a cool event.
I mean, that was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know, he wanted me to go. I remember him asking me to go, and the babies were so little. I was just like, I got no chance, bro. Like, I got no chance in hell of, like, you know what I mean?
Ain't happening.
They're this big. Like, I can't go nowhere.
Let me post. Nope, not that. Links in chat if anybody wants to join us. I really would, when I got into Carrie, originally Bigfoot Odyssey was watching the all the documentaries it did about different researchers. And those, he did a great job on those. You know, I loved watching those. And then he was on like 4 nights a week or something.
Yeah.
You know, him and Bradley or him and so-and-so and, you know, him and Daniela, you know, and it was just, I was like, damn, he's going to kill himself doing all this. And, you know.
Then work, you know, his work schedule changed.
Yeah.
And he wasn't able to as much, but the show still went on.
Yeah. Bradley hosted it for a while, and we haven't talked to Bradley in a while.
No.
Actually, it wasn't that long ago.
I was gonna say a few months ago.
Yeah. But
when I saw that
just
puppy
somebody else that we
when I saw the puppy at Tractor Supply.
Yeah. We made friends with that is more like family.
That
is
family, for sure. And people like,
Bigfoot Odyssey is the first live Bigfoot show I ever watched.
Might have been mine too.
Because my first live was Paranormal Portal, so they covered a vast amount of stuff. But yeah, I was the first live show I was ever on.
That's where I saw you.
The first time I was on was the first time she saw me. And then after that, I didn't know that until, you know, until we met.
Right.
But,
because I'm cracking up.
But yeah,
what's going on?
What did we miss?
No, it's not you guys. That's why I got a message. It's just.
Oh, okay.
I'm actually using my laptop for once. So.
Robert and Dewin says Bradley will never ride in the back of a pickup truck again.
Never ever again. He almost didn't that night.
That, you know, but that's what that story, what happened when he's talking about, is what brought us all together.
Yes.
He was pissed at first after it happened, but then
I don't think
as time went on, we were busting his balls about it, and he finally broke down and started busting his own balls and got into it. And
we laughed the
that-
rest
that-
of the night.
we kept people up.
Oh man, I don't think I've laughed that hard ever. You know, it's one of those nights. I made a family. You know, I was invited into a family. Yeah.
Bradley had gotten left behind almost. We went out for a night hike at this one of Zasky's spots, and
His spot.
when it was time to leave, everybody got in their vehicles, and Bradley thought he had a ride with somebody, and they left. I was in that car. Wasn't driving, but his last option when he turns around is Carrie's driving away. So Bradley hops in the back into the bed, but there's shit back there. So there's shit back there. So he like sits on the
wheel well.
no the toolbox, and he tapped on the window. They didn't hear him. So Carrie's driving like Carrie, and didn't slow down for those railroad tracks. And Bradley caught air, and luckily he landed back in the dam, or he was grabbing, but when he got back, he was pissed.
Carrie had no idea he was in the back of that truck.
No idea.
Had no clue. Nobody did.
When we're standing there listening to this, I mean,
had he not made it into the back of that pickup truck, he'd have been stuck out there in the middle of nowhere by himself with no cell service, no nothing, and would have been like, we'd have got back to camp, been like, what the fuck's Bradley?
But to stand there and watch this, and Carrie realizes that he was in the back of the truck, and somebody goes, "Yeah, the railroad tracks." He goes, "Oh," like, "Oh shit."
He laughed so hard later on after he
calmed down and he was able to make fun of himself. It was great.
Oh my god! I thought I busted a rib that night laughing so hard. I seriously did. I had laughed and laughed and laughed. It was that you can't breathe laugh. It was everybody just clicked, and it was instant family. Very cool.
How do you know all this? The whole backhoe Bradley.
What do you mean? Oh, I think that they said it on the show.
Did they?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, they talked about it.
Yeah, that was a great time.
It was.
Zasky thought every spot around there was his spot. Well, supposedly he put a lot of time into these spots, but it was one general area, or two, whatever. But they weren't his spots. I mean, it's just where he. I mean, I don't know. How do you put that? I'm not trying to be a dick, but
yeah, no, I know what you mean.
It was open to the public. And it was some dense shit. I mean, I could see
some spots I go that are like a layup. You know what I mean? Like you're guaranteed almost to have something happen. You know what I mean? Like I mean, some people call them research areas, whatever. Like I don't know. I've gotten to the point where I've always been like that though, where I'll go just different places over and over and over again because I get.
Right, I didn't know they said it. That's cool. That's funny. I'm glad that just reminded me. Sorry, Mike.
No, you're good.
We've I don't know. We've had some good experiences in this.
Oh hell yeah!
I'm thrilled that I got involved with this whole subject and community, and because they're such good people, and I just my thought, or my thinking I should say, has changed since hanging out with Kenny.
I want to go back and hang out with him some more.
We're going to go back.
It's not about the property. It's about Kenny. Mose went to bed. not long before I did, because I was just exhausted. But I sat there talking to Kenny Flat Rock, and I told him that, and I was like, I gotta go to bed. I could sit up here and talk to you all night. He's just that great of a guy. Easygoing and kind-hearted and easy to talk to, and I love listening to his stories. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to going and hanging out with him again. And if it means hanging out there, absolutely. That's just a bonus. Excuse me. I don't know why I feel like I'm losing my voice. But yeah, I wish I could have spent more time. I felt bad that night. It was late and we were all tired. Hell, it was like 3 a.m. when we came back in.
It was honestly. It was. I probably went to bed.
Yeah, so
at
about
2:30.
So
it was 2 when we came back in.
It was 2 when we got back in. But still, 2 a.m. We're just coming back in, and after driving from Alabama, we left the Airbnb and went straight there. We were more than exhausted. And then going out there and doing the walk that we did, I wish I could have had the stamina to go further. I know I was tired in the first place, but
you have nothing to
but I want to go. I want to do it again. I want to be more prepared. If I would have had like a little, I said it while we were out there. I'm like,
stool.
Damn it! If I had like a little stool, one of those, like.
What you got to understand is we didn't prepare for that because we had no idea we were going to be invited.
No. This was very in the moment. Yes.
Hey, you guys want it? Sure. And then I was like, wait, which way is it? He goes south. I said, absolutely.
So we weren't prepared at all. And and this is another thing. Flat Rock was so welcoming. He had spent all that time, at the conference that whole weekend and didn't prepare to have anybody over. For him to open his doors to us like that, it just makes him all the more amazing and me grateful. Good people.
Zasky's a gold digger. I was paying him 10 quid a month on Patreon. When he found out about my camera, a freebie I offered him, he blocked me. I just avoid that. I don't
get involved.
No, I don't watch him. I don't care. Watching that man was like it's all a grift to me. Taking people out, charging them so he could take them out to his spot, but he charges them X for camping in a free camp spot, by the way.
Free campground.
It was all just like, wow, he's just milking the fuck out of this. And he still goes on. Now he's on Nephilim, I think. I just read titles as they go by. So I'm like looking for something to watch, and it's, inevitable you run into some of his stuff. But whatever. Payback's a bitch. Karma's a bitch.
Karma. Yep.
Is what it is. But there's hot dogs, Mogs. Wait, what did I miss?
Where'd he go?
Oh, no. Well, I heard somebody's.
I think that was mine.
Something. Flower is a good person at heart. You can tell by the first conversation you had with him. Absolutely. And then the first time I met him, we met at the same place she met him, but I met him like a year before.
Yeah.
It was at the Florida conference.
Yep.
And immediately you're just like, oh, right on. You got to like him. He's so cool, And the story, and he can just talk and talk and talk. So it's
so can I.
But it's really a one-sided conversation because I just sit there like mouth half open, like, oh shit, and then comment when I can. But it's not just the fact that he's talking; it's what he's saying. That is fascinating. So again, thank you, Kenny, because it was an awesome time, and we'll be back out.
Well, he's welcome here anytime. You know.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, he's yeah, our door's open to him as well. He's on Nephilim like it's a drug. Logs, I'm only human, Nate, and I'm learning. There is some scumbags among us.
Unfortunately, that's
Indeed.
true. And it's
And we're all,
unfortunate.
and I'm, you know, I'm just voicing my opinion. And
Yes.
you don't like it? Sorry.
But for every one of them, there's 50 of good. You know, I'm finding. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah, luckily the I don't know. Well, I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
I'll shut up.
Because I know where you're going.
Well, I was gonna say, luckily the good outnumbered the bad.
Yes.
But then it's like you hope they do.
Yeah. Well, pretty sure. Once you really look at
In our experience with my experience with YouTube and everybody here and everybody involved, it's just a bunch of good people.
it, really is.
You know, you get an idiot now and then, but you know, whatever. Blinky One says, hope he's not talking Scat C info on Nephilim.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. I haven't watched anything of his.
And Fly by Steer, that's cool. It gets, you know, just keep learning. So that's all I'm doing.
That's what we're trying to do.
Trying to do. Yeah, just learn from my mistakes. Hopefully, you know, people pay attention and learn from their own mistakes. Because doing the same shit over and over again, it's just stupid.
Mr. Lee, I said a while ago, I'm proud of him. This trip, this weekend, he did so good. Still, no, you know, staying on track. I would like to say 100%. There was just a little tweak here and there because there was nothing else available at the time, you know. But for the most, even then, he's
I was like, fuck it, you know.
I'm proud of him.
I'm kicking I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So if there's a slip, it's not going to kill me because I'm still doing what I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing.
Even though a slip, it's a healthy slip. It's not, you know, you didn't go the worst you could have gone.
Oh no, it was
Yeah,
just, you know,
you didn't go crazy. You just modified what you had to. That's it. And I'm, like I said, I'm proud.
And it was once one thing I ate.
I'm proud of him. I'd say it's going good.
But yeah, that, you know, I'm not going to start throwing out numbers, and it's been 11 days. I'll day 30 or somewhere around there when I have a month under my belt, or hopefully out from under my belt. You know where you have to like tighten the belt up a little more because you lost weight.
Right.
We'll see. I feel good. You know, I really do. I feel good. So yeah, it sucks because your choices. I mean, my choices are limited only because I don't know what choices there are. I haven't looked into because I don't call it a keto diet, but then again, it's like, well, if that's basically what it is, I might as well. You know, what do you guys eat? You know.
Yeah. I mean, it's a guidance. It's a keto guidance, I guess.
Yeah, but I'm going to stick to it. You know.
He's doing good, which means I'm benefiting from it as well.
I just feel
A
that
lot.
because I think you're suffering from it.
Not when I get an Arby's.
No, like, well, what I
roast
made
beef
tonight is I made her
sandwich.
French fries. I didn't make mine. I didn't have any. I
Sweet
didn't,
potato fries.
because karma has a beautiful way to come around. Yeah, sometimes it just takes too damn long.
But sometimes it's immediate gratification.
True.
And that's the best.
Very true.
Mr. Lee said sometimes it takes 2 or 3 weeks to get into ketosis if your diet was bad before. Sorry, I hesitated. It's
It wasn't. You know what, dude? It was a lot. Yeah, it wasn't terrible, but I had a sweet tooth and cut that right out. It was this one in the back. I got no. And the hardest one is the carbs, because now I'm like, okay, shit, that has nope. How about nope? So basically, it's just vegetables and meat, be it whatever type of meat I do.
Mike, I did the same thing. I like you said, swimming is my only exercise I can stand to do, and I do it well and I dedicate to it. I did that for 2.5 years, then lost 130 pounds by swimming. So it works. You just got to stick to it. I got to get back into it.
Yeah, I don't have any sugar cravings, Mr. Lee.
See, that's where I feel guilty if I eat sweets in front of them.
Like eating out of the ice cream carton. It's like, come on.
Hiding in the corner. I'm hiding in the corner.
It's all right. It's going. I'll get over it. I'll get through it. Once I figure out the options and more options, and yeah, like I know I can start rice and cauliflower and using that as a
filler.
Yeah. But it's a healthy filler.
Substitute. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Cynthia Cox, how are you? To stop cravings, it takes a month. Yeah, it's also I don't know. It's the way I approach it, mentally.
He puts up a block and that's it.
Well, it's
not a bad thing. It's just dedication.
When I'm done, I'm done. I don't do that anymore. I don't eat that one anymore. I don't drink anymore. I don't. So it makes like I can go into a bar and I can have a good time. Don't have to drink though. LIB says I lost 60 and 60 last time. 60 pounds in 60 days. That's a lot.
That is.
It's a pound a day. But I guess once you get your metabolism rolling, yes, but it sounds like it's a lot of weight.
For 2.5 years, my average.
Good for you, dude.
My average was about 3 to 5 pounds a month. Is what I did. It took me a couple of years to do it, but because I didn't modify what I ate, I changed the portions, and I've talked about this before. Portion size, time I ate. I took sugar out of everything I drank. That was the major.
Hi, Sharon.
That was probably the most I did to modify like what I was actually eating. But the portion size, I would, I changed drastically. And weekends, it's what worked for me, but it took a while. It took me a while. And I think because of that, I've managed to keep all that excessive weight off. I fluctuate 10 pounds, I think now 15 in the past year, but it's always been that way. I'll go up a little and then I'll go back down. And right now, I think the way what works with me is movement, exercise, like I said, swimming. But I feel like right now I can't do anything yet because my rib's still healing.
40 grams of that's a low carb diet. 40 grams of I'm just trying to eliminate them all. I'm not. I want to make my body do what it's supposed to be doing without all the processed bullshit. It's a matter. Now it's time to get rid of that. What?
I got a notification that the weather's going to get kind of funky here in the next couple of days. Where they're looking at a tropical system coming through all the way through Friday. A lot of rain, like extreme volumes of rain.
Guess I'm not working this week.
88% chance, 95% chance.
I did see that
91% chance through Friday.
for the next couple of days.
Yes, and then Saturday it's fine, but they're saying it's a system that's coming across the Gulf and it's stalling over the Gulf, collecting
So it's
all
just
that
picking up
moisture, and we're gonna get it all dumped on us.
Well, big system went through earlier. We got just a little bit of it. It hit south of us, so like southern Florida got inundated with water today.
Yes, and that's I think the beginning of what's coming for us. It's gonna make it all the way up across Orlando, coming up this way. 16-mile-an-hour winds to start. I don't think it's going to be too windy as much as it is. We're just going to get a lot of rain.
Gene says after 50, I lost my metabolism. It sucks. I didn't know I had one.
I was gonna say. Yeah, Sharon Guy said they may get it too. Hi, Sharon. Yeah, Rex, not a good time for the beach. I wouldn't say. Billy says it's chilly in England.
I was surprised to see that on the Weather Channel, to see just the high percentage of rain.
That's why.
I was like, what? But yeah, we're gonna get it. That's all right. I want to see these more water in this lake. So
you'll get your wish. You said about a foot of.
I want about a foot of that water to go up about a foot.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. We come back after being gone this weekend, and this morning, close to afternoon, I woke up.
See, they've been cutting the weeds out here in certain areas and scooping them up and
before we left,
getting rid of them. And I knew that they were going to be growing back. We came in at 1:00 this morning is when we got home, and this morning she gets up and looks out.
And the first thing I noticed were the lily pads were just flat.
They're welted. You can tell they've been sprayed.
They're just sitting in the water now. Not,
And they sprayed a lot.
They sprayed this whole back corner and to the left of us. Any part of this big patch of the corner has been sprayed. And my first thought is, motherfuckers. I think of the wildlife, that's out here.
I mean, supposedly it's non-toxic to fish and whatever, but still,
if it kills fast,
if it kills a plant,
we're going for the weekend, and it's come back and it's no.
Yeah, Mr. Lee's got his get his ass this side of the pond. He's been to Florida.
He has.
But we'd love to have him. Harold Jen, what's up?
Oh, yeah. I peeked through the window this morning, and that was the first thing I saw, and I was like, are you kidding me?
Harold says he's got a friend in Asheville whose daughter had an experience with a dog man bearing on her vehicle and howling at them in Maggie Valley, North Carolina. So if you're near Maggie Valley, North Carolina, heads up, there may be a dog man around. Mr. Lee, I was hoping for a suntan this year. Sorry. Can gingers tan? I don't know.
They burn? That's probably
be careful, just lots of, sunscreen. If I can see him take off his shirt and just spontaneously combust.
Hey, Harold. Good to see you. And that's the other thing. The weather up there, just the air
Oh,
quality
the first night.
difference.
Oh yeah, it wasn't humid the first night.
No.
It got humid. But
Yeah.
the first night it was almost a chill in the air. It was in like
Yesterday,
the early 60s, and then when we went out with Flat Rock,
we were drenched.
Drenched.
I was drenched in
it
sweat coming back in. I mean, so
was hot, but it's so beautiful,
Oh,
you know.
God,
That's why I love doing all these different I feel blessed to have been able to cross the country a couple times in the past.
yeah.
You know, be it even though I'm just traveling from Arizona to Florida and back, whatever. Just be able to stop and see these places, because I don't know, it's so.
The world's a beautiful place.
Yeah. Like if people talk about the LBL and it's scary and da 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 da
I
bullshit.
think
It's fucking
beautiful.
gorgeous.
It's gorgeous out there.
It is just wow.
I think too, what I can appreciate the most of this, one of the things most of this trip is the fact that going out there in the woods the other night was the first time I've been out in the woods in the middle of the night since way before I lost my legs. So that was, I was in my happy place.
And Stevie, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm so thrilled at how you did, and that you just trudged on. And Kenny was floored. He was like, oh no, we talked. He's like, dude, what the hell? He goes, I can't believe she's out there and there's stump roots and blah blah blah, and then she's just
Kept up.
he was impressed,
I was
and I
ready
was
to keep
impressed,
going.
and I was
mad
No,
that I couldn't keep going.
oh well,
I wanted to keep going.
but you did it. You got out there and did it, and
It felt good. I mean, it was tiring. It was a challenge, but yeah. Thank
she
you.
almost fell on her ass when the bucket imploded.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Uh,
I'm sitting there in the pitch black, total darkness, and the bucket that I was sitting on just buckled, and I kind of, I don't
Turns
know.
out there was already a crack in it.
There was already a crack in it, but it buckled under me, and they heard it. They couldn't see where I was at first. I knew Kenny turned to me, and I felt his arm reach out for me first. You're trying to pull him, and I'm like, I can't. And they got me up off it, but yeah, that was funny.
Miss Dill, wonderful to see you. Welcome.
Still, no, I was just thrilled to be out there. I really, I'd have kept going if I could, and I was mad because I couldn't. I didn't want to go back in. I mean, yeah, it was hot. We were tired and all that, but yeah, that was cool.
But you're out there and
I
you're
was in
doing
my
it. And
happy
it's
place.
like, straining yourself to listen and
I know.
what was it?
We couldn't hear nothing because of the cicadas.
No. If there was something around, I believe you would have heard it. But
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm sure.
just the idea of being out there
Where
at
so many.
1 o'clock in the morning in the middle of the woods and it's pitch black.
I love it.
No weapon,
Love it.
no phone, no.
So vulnerable.
I was gonna put a
Vulnerability.
knife on my hip and decided against it. I have bear spray in the truck.
Yep.
Decided against it.
Oh, we could have went out there with protection.
I put on shoes and bug spray.
I put on a t-shirt and bug spray.
Made sure that the batteries were fresh in the flashlights, and grabbed the walking stick, and away we went.
Yep. I said if we were smart enough, I'd have grabbed a bottle of water. That was my only regret of leaving anything behind. I was so excited to get out there. I didn't think to grab anything to drink. But that was a great time.
There were some people we didn't get to meet. Spencer, he was down there, but he was squatching, so he didn't come over to the conference. Spencer Jameson, I want to meet him.
Yeah.
He just seems like somebody I want to sit down and, I know he smokes cigars. I don't, but just sit down and, chill with and
Yes.
bullshit.
Let's have a conversation.
Guys, we still have, 30 minutes thereabouts?
Wow.
If anybody wants to join us, you want to talk about anything? Maybe we said something pissed somebody off. You want to talk about? Feel free.
We only have room for 9.
Yeah. You might have to take turns. We'll get a number system going, and you can line up here.
Like at the deli. Here's your number.
Now serving.
All right. 222.
Oh, that would means we got some views.
Yeah, exactly. Feisty Kitty, hey, how you doing?
So Tex
Sharon.
went live the other night. Now it was last night. And unfortunately, we were driving, so I didn't even know about it because otherwise,
Well, we did run into a little bit of trouble coming back home.
It wasn't even
Briefly.
worth. Yeah, it was very brief.
It was like an hour setback, but we were focused on the drive and directions. We took a different route, so I guess while they were having their show, neither one of us were aware. We probably would have hopped in it.
So I was watching and like, oh, this is cool. I'm listening and like, oh, yeah, that's. And we saw, and this. About an hour and 2 minutes in, Tex goes,
Excuse me.
well, we met Mogion Monster, and as soon as those words came out of his mouth, one of the other guests, Anita Collier, she put the conference together, cut him off and started talking about something, and everybody else, like, since she was the last one talking, responded to her. My name never came up. Stevie's didn't come up. I was like, what? But we had such a good time. I was like, damn, I guess we made a bad impression.
See, and that's where I wish I could bring up the video and stuff. What Modes and Tex played some pool together,
Yeah.
a couple games, and
I went, well,
I have a couple clips.
I
of
only
that.
played 3 games. I was good. 3 wins, 0 losses.
That's right.
A win's a win?
And when's the win?
Yeah, okay.
No, it was just cool to hang out with those guys.
Yeah, it was fun.
See them on the shows, you see them in chats, and to be able to walk up and put your arms around somebody and give them a hug. That's
Feisty
awesome.
Kitty, how are you? Good to see you. Jeez, we talked a lot of shit tonight.
You talked a lot of shit.
Well, we're not saying,
I know, I'm kidding.
It's one of
Harold
those nights.
Harold Denton, yes. Texas is cool in person.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Texas a good guy.
And somebody used the word earlier, genuine. Yeah. He's cool.
He's man enough to wear pink.
Yep. Well, their shirts for the conference to represent those that were like he emceed, and those that were involved were the pink Texas front porch, hot pink Texas front porch shirts. I actually won one of those shirts. That's what I wanted.
Oh yeah.
It was a silent auction, and
oh yeah, I forgot about the auction.
yeah, they did a silent auction, and I put my name on a couple things, and he gets a message from somebody saying that I won that.
Yeah, and I didn't know who it was. It was
And
Gary.
it was one of the
Gary
top
Senior.
Texas front porch T-shirts. I'm looking forward to that.
They had an auction, also a regular auction, and they auctioned off.
They had a lot. And
like a tent and or a hammock, and then they had
during
a
the show.
they had a
during the
poster
conference.
rep for the show.
Where is that?
It's in my truck.
Okay.
They had an auction for that, and I just thought it was a poster. I was like, oh, do I need a poster? I was like, wait, how much are they in the lobby? I was like, whatever. But it was going for a good cause. And
all of the money that they raised during this auction was to basically go towards a new program at the local college, and
It was
it's
going
a forensics
towards a scholarship.
scholarship. Yes. So it was definitely good. See, and that's what I love. You know, they do good things for.
So I won the bid. Like, it was kind of fun. It was never on auction before. Ted's like, Tex is like, yeah, and this is 35, anybody
He was the
35,
auctioneer.
35, and it kind of started. It stalled at 45. I'm like, come on, somebody. And I'm like, 50. I'm like, what are you doing, dude? I'm talking to myself.
I go out. I come back. I go out for something. I come
So
back
I
in.
won that. I won that.
And
or
I
bought
knew
that
it.
or whatever.
But yeah, I think it's awesome that
It's signed by everybody. The poster. So I'm gonna get a frame for it.
but all the money goes towards the scholarship program.
And it is a forensic class.
Yes, which you would hope that person would take that knowledge, that forensic.
If they by
Education.
chance
Yeah.
got into the
Yeah, well, I think
subject.
that would be the idea of whoever the scholarship recipient would be. That would. It's just very cool that to see people do good things for other people. I love that.
Harold says, I like how their channel was set up. So YouTube made them break it up into different channels. Yeah, I agree. Harold, I'm not going to try to explain how it was set up.
How it
And
works.
everybody, it was like it was Tex's channel, and everybody
Branched
was
off.
under him. You
Yeah.
know, as far as
But at the same
under
time,
his channel,
YouTube made them stop that, but doesn't mean that they're still all.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. That whole big group.
where the fuck is Papa Craig? He's missing all the diet talking. He would be in his element. Indeed.
I actually just spoke with him through text a couple days ago. Actually, I think we were driving to Alabama when we were texting, and he did mention that his internet access it's hit or miss. So there's certain times that he has signal, but he seems to be doing well. He's spending time with Nana and the grandkids, so he's doing well. I was so glad to hear that him and Nana got to spend some time together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's good to hear he's doing well. And he kind of unofficially inspired me, that all the results that health-wise and all these positive results he's having from this, what he's doing, and
Seeing it from him.
Yeah, and hearing it and just because knowing that even he's surprised at the results of the benefits of how he changed his diet and everything. So when you see that and you hear that, it is inspiring. So I wasn't comfortable where I was, not at all. Physically, I just I'm not happy. So let's get happy.
Mm-hmm.
You got to go through misery to get the happiness and get clear, because it's just I did kind of just jump into it. I was like, fuck it, I'm done. Let's do this.
Not easy. Not at all. That's why I said I'm proud.
But it's
one of the hardest things to do on a road trip is to eat right. And he did. He absolutely did. So that's why I keep saying it.
Let's see. And again, I'm sorry if I missed anybody tonight in chat.
I'm still tired from the weekend. I really
Guys,
am.
what time did I go to bed last night? Like 2, 3.
Just after 2, I think.
I slept until 12 o'clock this afternoon.
I didn't get up. I was up at 10.
I didn't sleep a lot this weekend. Like, I didn't sleep well this weekend.
He didn't sleep well. Neither one of us did. And he did all the driving. All the driving.
Yesterday took us maybe 8 hours, 7.5 to get there. going to 3 hours down to Kenny's. From there, when we left from there, it said another 6.5 hours.
Another 6.5 hours. So
The next day.
we
So
went off course a little bit.
yeah, well, by like 5 hours.
Yeah.
We were in that truck for like 11 hours at least.
Yeah. And we only stopped once.
Weird thing, man. We were coming through Georgia. We're on 19. We get on 98, and the fuck, are we on the Walking Dead set? There is nobody on the road.
I took video of probably a good couple miles, and there's no cars in front.
It's
of
like
us. As far as you see behind us, nothing. We were the only ones on the road, but it was like that the majority of the drive home. And we were on the road for a good 5-hour stretch. We got onto 19, and turning onto it, I could have walked out into the middle of the street, and he said we could have played a game of kickball.
And yeah, and it would have been one of those things. Car, and go back to your game. And
this is a major highway.
Yeah.
You know,
it was like, did we miss something? The second coming happened, and well, we know where we stand.
Yep. But it was so bizarre. I mean, and then when we did see a vehicle, it would be the opposite direction. I don't think anybody ever passed us, except for that white van passed us three times. You know, one vehicle passed us 3 times, but there was no one else on the road. It was bizarre. It was kind of cool to have the whole drive to ourselves, but yeah, it was kind of bizarre.
It was weird.
Sharon says, "How it's crazy how vacation will make you tired." And I'm just grateful that I gave myself an extra day off. I don't have to go back to work till tomorrow. Today, I did a whole lot of nothing. I mean, a whole lot of nothing.
Mr. Lee, you are right. You are responsible for it because you brought it up, and he did his own research. Papa Craig.
Yes, absolutely. I did. The only time I left the house today was to go around the backside to the laundry room. That's it.
Figgy says, "I'm sorry, I can't stop laughing." And she says, "Bucket imploded." But in pitch dark, you hear
poof.
It was like crack. Like I know that.
I'm not that big. I promise you.
You can't see her.
I'm not that
but
big.
It's like when I immediately turn the light on and put my hand out. No, it's not that. It was a crack in the bucket. Yeah. It was an old bucket.
I know.
Stats, how are you?
Hey, Stats.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. It was funny. It wasn't funny at first. I knew what happened. I knew it.
No, I'm sure in the minute you're like waiting to fall off the bucket, on your back, on your ass, whatever.
I think my hand went down first because I was going to fall backwards. The way it buckled was in the front of the bucket. So it's going like, boom, I fell back a teeny bit, but I caught myself. But it was just, it happening in the pitch black. And everything's quiet except for cicadas. These guys aren't talking. We're just sitting there in darkness and silence. All things considered, and poof. It did implode.
Hold on. 19 is dead at night. Stopped at the rest area. Oh no, 19 is dead at night. Stopped at the rest area south of Tallahassee, and where the only car and the attendant was snoring in a chair up front. Dude,
it was still daylight when we got on 19.
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Because it reminded me of the scene from Walking Dead, where the herd it's coming down the street and it ends up somehow it's on the medium, the grass medium, and they're in cars on each side with the barbed wire or whatever, and they just plow them all over and cut them in half. It looked like it could have been filmed right there. you know.
To me, and he hasn't seen this part of the series. Those of you that have will know when it was the whole season where they got stuck in that traffic jam of all the abandoned cars, and they lost the little girl. The little girl runs off. The herd comes through. It was that strip. Take away the cars because it was just dead empty. But when we came over the ridge of seeing that whole, it was Walking Dead, straight out of The Walking Dead.
And we were in Georgia, so. The other place that was the Big Bend in Florida, because there's nothing. There's nothing.
Nothing. It's
for miles and miles and miles. Like we were going to stop. I entertained the thought of stopping at a hotel for the night, even though we had only 3 hours to go.
But it was 3 hours to go.
Yeah,
after driving 6.
We're trying to look up a certain hotel because I had a dog with me, and we passed the Holiday Inn, and
after that it was the Bend.
And then by the time we got to, we're down to 2 hours, and it's like, we're going home. I wanted to get home. We got home.
We got home.
1 o'clock this morning.
We got home.
What's up, Mike? Long time no see.
Unloaded everything, dumped it on the house, and got ourselves.
Miss Dill, are you saying goodnight? Thank you so much, Miss Dill. We love you.
We do, indeed.
Listen to Mr. Lee. Hit that like button. That thumbs up. Knucklehead.
Christy says, Mike, welcome back.
Yeah, weird.
What's that?
The light beam. It's like such a weird place.
Turn around.
Yeah, right.
Turn around.
What do we got? A few minutes left, whatever.
Looks like a heavenly beam of light coming down over your shoulder.
Oh, turn around. I see what you mean. Let's try that. Yeah, it works. And I'm just getting blinded by it.
Yeah, there's a glare. Damn.
There you go. Harold Dunn says, beam me up, Scotty.
What is Christy design again? I forget.
What do you design?
I forgot too.
I heard that in my head when they said blinded by the light. Yep.
Huh.
I sang the song in my head.
Yeah, I was full last night. I was like, okay, I've had enough this weekend. Let's go. It's like we got 2 hours.
Yes, Sharon, you're absolutely right. We heard that on. I listened to a little bit of Texas Front Porch show from last night. Gary Spikes broke down in Mississippi. He's with Crystal J and him carported, and they got stuck in Mississippi.
Carported?
Yeah, well, she rode with him.
Carpooled?
Carpool?
I say, oh. Well,
You're such a Floridian cardboard.
Look, I said I was still tired.
Hey, where's your car parked right
Shut
now?
up.
The carport.
Anyways, they broke down in Mississippi. They think it might be his alternator, but he's having to wait on the part. So according to then during the show, I don't know if I'm hoping he's home by now, but
you know what it is? They got mud in the tires.
Gary Spikes Senior he's a sweetheart. I love him.
I need an excuse for my cousin Vinny joke.
Good.
Oh, that was in Alabama, wasn't it? Yes, it was. Wasn't it? Didn't that take place in Alabama?
Yeah. Yeah. She said, I wonder how the Chinese food is down here. I act like a damn tourist. The two youths.
Okay, I make hand-painted, hand-drawn plaques.
Oh, very cool.
Oh, right. Okay.
She says,
I
where
want
is
to
it?
do a Bigfoot one so bad.
Oh, keep looking for you out at her fishing spot. I haven't been to Crystal River in a
You know, we
while.
almost we
When
tossed
I
around
was-
the idea of
Last night. I almost
last
went there.
night of going out there. We did. You know, as much as I'd love to go out there, I'm glad we didn't. Just because I don't. Can you imagine how tired I was? Tired coming in and then all day today. Had we added one more day of a stop?
It would have been brutal.
Yes. Because we would have hung out. We definitely
Absolutely.
would have hung out and fished, and it'd have been an all day thing, and we'd be probably just driving in right before the show. And yeah, no.
The two Utes. The two what? The two Utes.
You know, I'm not sure, but I want to say it was Gary's car. Sharon.
You know,
Almost sure.
We had an issue where we broke down, but I knew what it was and I knew how to take care of it. You know, and luckily it was still early enough that O'Reilly's was still open.
Riley.
Yeah,
We're not.
I got the privilege of meeting Crystal the night at the hotel when they went to the bar at the hotel. I sat there with her for a few minutes, but I was dying of thirst. I
What
wanted to
was
get
it?
some
Fisher
water.
Spam? Is that his name?
Fisher, Spam, and
Yeah.
War Criminal. Those
And,
guys,
Be
they're
kind.
they're so cool. That was fun meeting them.
I'm trying to think. There were so many other people that I forgot about.
Oh, I'm sure there was other people that we didn't get a chance to meet. I mean,
Because we did get there. I
We
mean,
got
it
to the-
started at 9.
we got there at
Started,
noon.
and we got there at noon. So I don't know how many people came and went in that
yeah, it came
3
in.
hours before we got there.
And there was a lot of people sitting there actually in the conference listening to the speakers that, you know, they were in there the whole time. And
Well, they paid to get in.
yes,
Like,
absolutely.
The main part of the vending area and stuff was free, but to get into the auditorium to listen to the speakers, that's
there
where
was a ticket.
you had to buy a
You had to
ticket.
buy a ticket.
And it was cool. It was
Hey,
set up.
Anita.
It was set up cool. Anita, how are you? Puff, puff, Mr. Lee. Don't choke. But yeah. Oh no, it was a great time. I'm looking forward to. We'll see how it goes. Is getting on with some of these people, like getting over and hanging
I
out
got
with
an invite to go on with
Blondes and
Blondes
Booze
and
and
Booze, yeah.
Tex and
those
you know.
girls.
You got to make your way up here one time.
oh yeah, man. I want to get up.
I'll put you guys up.
I got to figure out, you know,
I think he's
when I'm getting off next.
he's gonna look at all the Airbnbs.
Oh, dude, that was.
I know. It's a rabbit hole. It's a beautiful one though.
It is. I mean, that's what that
Wait till off season, and then you're gonna go nuts because right now everything is through the roof
And it
and
was,
nothing's
But it was-
available.
that
listen,
was so small
what
town.
we
It
paid
wasn't expensive.
was
Cheaper than a hotel.
Yes, and we had
probably be the same price.
Whatever, but you get your own space.
yes,
You got your own, like,
we had our own
forget
pond.
it.
Honestly,
The
yeah.
place I'm in right now, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a shared space. Like, it's shared, but it's not a hotel. You know what I mean? Like,
I talked to
Dude, you're
Bigfoot Michigan Rob about it. I was like, dude, man, you know, you guys come in, you get these hotels and stuff, but you can rent these 5-bedroom or whatever you need homes.
especially if they're
And
splitting
split.
it.
Yeah, and
If
split
they're
it.
splitting it, they can get mansions.
Yes, you're right. Or a cave, whatever they choose.
A cave
You know?
or a tree house. I'm getting
You know, Volkswagen Beetle. Yeah, come over here and we'll set you up.
I swear. It's too funny.
can't afford my rent. I'm like, okay, let's get a cave. The lights will go off, but I'll get out. I'll have a hell of an
Not like
experience.
we're rich or anything, and by no means, because we would have spent the same amount of money in a hotel.
Well,
So,
you could probably catch land lobsters in a cave.
land lobsters.
Scorpions.
Oh,
Scorpions. I call scorpions lost lobsters.
mostly they have them in Florida. I haven't seen them. Scorpions. I got used to them in Arizona.
I don't play that shit. Damn, the guys used to go in Afghanistan and go and try to find a bunch of different ones. They'd like put them in 5-gallon buckets and place bets.
On who's
And,
gonna
like,
win?
Yeah, and or camel spider versus scorpion, or like I mean that's when we were out in the field for like, you know, you just going crazy.
You needed entertainment.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I was against it, I was just like, at least it's something to do.
Camel spider lose.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
but most of the time it was because they weren't even fighting. You know what I mean? You know, they would just be backed up against the like side, and
Everybody's like, "Oh, they chased you. They chased you." Oh no, they're looking for the shade that you are providing.
right. But they do chase you, but yeah, they're to them you're shade because you're casting a shadow.
And
So
that's
even
not
if yeah, because I ran and it was chasing me and I didn't understand because they let it loose on me, and then I was like, you know, I was pissed and I was running around like an asshole, and the thing was screaming too. It made
Really?
this like it made this god awful noise, like like it was like screaming. Unless it was me.
you might be on somewhere. You just had
I might have been farting or something. I don't know. I was scared.
I just want to link to the little short that I made for the back porch. We're sitting there having coffee, and Mokes, I'm sitting there just looking out. He's like, "Hey, check it out." I look over, and there's these geese coming through.
2 geese.
One big one, two
Two big
babies,
ones,
and then
yeah.
the last big one, and they're just single file walking in front of. I'm sitting on the porch overlooking the pond.
And they're just walking the
And they're
fence line.
just walking, and they're taking the little ones down to the pond, all the way down to the fence, the opening in the fence, and yeah, it was just, it just shows you how that it was such a great place to stay. You know, we were just sitting there having coffee on the porch, and to have that, yeah, it's amazing. And there's some, I mean, I've stayed in Airbnb before. That's how I knew to look into it because it is such a great thing that to get away from that commercial hotel hustle and bustle, you know, to relax and be able to make it your own home for however long you decide to stay. You know, we cook, you can do nothing. It's just
So
your
it's like,
home
you know,
forever.
I would encourage, and people think it's, oh, that's too expensive, or that's, you know,
Oh,
you never know. You know, if you find yourself you're going somewhere
it's
and
not. It's
you're
not
gonna
too.
have to get a hotel anyway,
Yeah.
look into the area and look at Airbnbs, because you'll be surprised. You'll find something that
Yeah. Type in the location.
Right?
Yeah. Type in the location and zoom in on the map and look around.
Do your research and really do your due diligence of what type of place you want to rent. But yeah, there's my very first experience with Airbnb was horrible, and I was able to call them and they corrected it. And
Well, I mean, yeah, I've had it where I was in the middle of winter and I was in a remote cabin, East Bumble, you know, whatever, nothing but 3 farms. You had to drive in the pitch black. Your headlights didn't mean anything out here. And I mean, I got high beams, and like, it basically the heat went out.
Oh,
So I messaged the person, and they're like, "Well, shit, like, you know, it's an old heating system. It should kick back on. We'll get somebody there as soon as we can." some handyman came and like he was like laying down with a torch and like trying to get the pilot lit. Got the pilot lit, it kicked off. By the time he left, it was off within minutes. I sat up that night just like blankets all over me, just shivering, like, but like whatever. It's the risks you take to like,
Sure.
you know. And sometimes, you know, they're like, if you want, you can complain and like they'll reimburse you, whatever. Like, I was like, you guys got a 5-star. Like, I'm not gonna shit on it. You know, you did everything you could. You sent over a neighbor. You had somebody here within 12 hours. Like, you did everything. Like, I'm not gonna shit on you. You know.
I mean, this guy that owned the property we stayed on, he was, every time I had a question, I didn't bug him, but when we first got there, I wanted to know what his property line was because it was 20 acres, but there was other properties adjoining. So, you know, if we wanted to go for a walk, where are the boundaries?
Right.
So, and I sent him a message within minutes. He answered me, you know, and
yes.
checked on us after the first night. Hey, how was your stay? You know, how's your stay so far? Do you need anything? If you need anything, let me know. You know, I mean, yeah, just cool. And in the end, you give each other a good rating, and it's a good experience. It's much better than staying in a hotel.
So oh yeah.
Robert says Airbnb sounds like the movie Summer Rental.
Well, there's another site now, VRBO, but I don't use it.
Yeah,
Vacation Rentals by Owner.
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't used it yet, but I mean, it's pretty much it. Kind of most of the things. Yeah, most of the things line up in the same thing. So it's like me having a Lyft app and an Uber app. I'm like, why do I need both? You know what I mean?
Thank you, Sharon.
That's a good way to put it. You're absolutely right. No, I stayed in one out in California, and it was a great experience. I met a great family. You know, we hung out for the 4th of July. It was awesome. But that was
I've done it. I've had to stay
17, I think.
Yeah, I've had to do that too, where I stayed in somebody's house, just in a room in their house, and like it sounds weird until like you have no other option. You know what I mean? And then like you do it, and you're like, wow, that wasn't so bad. Like
they make it a good experience knowing
they
do. You're going to be in that uncomfortable zone. And we had the whole wing of the house to ourselves. It was me and my daughter was 16 at the time, and you know, it is an awkward situation going into it at first, but knowing that once meeting the family, and they were such great people, and so considerate of, you know, of us being there, and we, you know, so welcoming. It was great. It was really good. But having that, I had a bad experience before that. We were supposed to stay up in San Francisco, and it went bad. And they Airbnb, when I called them, contacted them, immediately corrected it and got us into the other place, and it was great. It was such a great experience.
Yeah. That's good.
Airbnb was her idea. I wouldn't have thought of it.
We talked about hotels, and you know, with Maya, La Quinta is the best place to stay with a pet that we've experienced. So we were going that route, and I was like, you know, let me take a look and see. You know, I know you've done a lot of traveling here lately, and some of those places that you've gone to, it just got me thinking, maybe I can find decent to. And I found a couple places. I ran it by them. We landed on that one. I'm glad we did. It was good.
It was a good experience. We are a little over 2 hours. I just,
a little bit.
To recap, we had a wonderful time this weekend. It was wonderful meeting everybody in Alabama. Tex and his whole crew and everybody that was there. Thank you.
Yes.
You know, absolutely. Everybody. You guys were awesome. You know, we felt welcome.
For sure, and had a wonderful time.
Yeah.
It was cool.
So thank you guys. Everybody that was here tonight, watching.
Thanks for hanging out.
And putting up with us.
Right. I said, Mike, when you first came on, your haircut looks good.
Does? Thank you.
It does.
It's a
according to her.
What's that?
So according to her, I'm not going to compliment.
You don't have
to agree. I've been requested to grow it out, so I'm working on it.
It looks good.
Thank you.
So, guys, we'll be back here on Thursday, same
sure.
time. You guys know the deal. Mike, it's always a pleasure.
Yep, you too. Thank you. I'll boot myself.
Thanks for
Talk to you soon, man. Again, we'll be back here on Thursday. Hope you guys had a good time. If you did, please hit that like button below. If you're new, subscribe, share it out, and leave comments. I think the last show we got one comment.
Yeah, we
It
got
was
one.
sad.
Thank you for the one. I like comments.
Oh, absolutely. So, guys, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other.
Good night, everybody.
We love you. Peace and God bless.